Hi everybody, welcome to Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today we are making some straight up collage art on a piece of heavy cardstock. This is my focal point. It's two girls. Looks like they're in their nightgowns. I'm guessing they're sisters. I have no idea. This is just a really cute photo that I found online. I also have some digital ephemera that I got from another artist. I have some pieces of old magazine pages, dictionary pages, and just some scraps from my scrap box. A little bit of everything. And, and the circle. I tried to use that circle in a previous piece, and it didn't really work. And it doesn't end up working in this piece either. Sorry, circle fans. But one of these days, that circle will find its way into a piece. I just haven't found the right one yet. So I'm going to fussy cut around the two gals. Their photo as a rectangle was just too big and had too much negative space. So I just trimmed all of the excess background off. And to me, that just looks a lot better. And I'll go in with the tiny scissors and clean up any little spots that I missed with the big scissors. I'm getting some replacement big scissors because these have been around a long time and they have lost their zhuzh, their joie de vivre. Oh man, I butchered that. Sorry, people who speak French. Anyway, long story short, I have some new scissors on the way. Okay, so this is just me auditioning various pieces from this pile of paper, seeing what could work. They're all kind of different shades of beige and brown and green. It's really drawn to green on this day. I'm using the decal trimmer to cut off the excess paper around this old postage stamp image, just to kind of keep the feeling of a stamp. You know how they have those nice scalloped edges? Well, yours truly does not have the skill or the patience to trim that. So I'm just using the decal trimmer to give it a rough edge, and then going around with the vintage photo distress ink to age everything just a little bit and kind of tie it all together too. And just give it a little bit of depth, a little bit of faux wear and tear. All right. So that is a grocery receipt, I think. And here I am using the edge of my scissor blade to rough up the side. I couldn't find my tiny distresser. It's somewhere in the mess. So I just used what was at hand. Just got to think on your feet, y'all. Also tearing off some more of this column from a dictionary page. Kind of wanted the viewer's eye to go up a little bit on the right side there. Here I am trying to see if the big circle will work, and I just determined no, it's not going to. And that's okay. Alright, so this particular layout looks good to me. I try a couple more things. And decide, you know what, this is gonna work. I rough up the edges a little more. There we go. It just makes it look a lot more interesting. And I'm going to go around with the vintage photo ink on these pieces as well. It just really makes the pieces stand out. Since the background is going to be a plain white background, you all know I usually do some kind of crazy, colorful, textured background. Well, today I wasn't feeling that, so we're going with a white background. And we're going to put all our color and texture and whatnot on the collaged pieces themselves. Excuse me. So, now to... Oh, this is an experiment that did not go well. So I got out the re-inker for the vintage photo and thought, gee, I will pour some out here and add a little water and then do some dabbing. And frankly, it looked terrible. It kind of looks like an accident. And anyway, long story short, it looked so awful. It's like, get it out of here. So, that page is not going to work. So I got a fresh page. Here's me leaning back to get that. There it is. Okay. Thank goodness for more paper. You know, if you try something and you really hate it, get rid of it. It's okay. Gosh. The beauty of making things is experimentation. You know, see what works and what doesn't work. And you'll know that going forward. So going forward, I know not to make a puddle of brown ink because it's going to look terrible. Oh my gosh. So, we're going to start gluing down my pieces here. And I am just using my good old glue stick. Make sure I get the edges and a little bit of the center. These are the two biggest pieces, so I wanted to make sure that they're on there correctly and they're nice and flat. You know, if you've got an old credit card or, you know, some kind of scraper like the one I've got there, it just helps to smooth everything out so that your surfaces not only adhere properly, but they also look nice too. All right, so I'm going to add this next little piece. And this is really just an exercise in adding layers. And the more layers you add, the more interesting the page is. And you've got different textures. There's a die cut there. A nice leafy green. And one way to kind of make sure you're doing what you originally wanted was to just keep relaying the pieces as you go along. Usually I would just take a photo, but since I was using my phone to record the video of this project, I couldn't do that. Another thing you can do is draw a sketch, a very light, quick sketch of the pieces, and use that to remember where you want things to go. So you'll see me arranging, rearranging, gluing, rearranging as we go, because that's just the easiest way for me to make sure that I'm putting everything back where I want it to be and not trying to remember, what is that, 6 different pieces? Yeah, 5 different pieces. Counting is hard. Oh my gosh, y'all, it has been such a week. I am exhausted and really tired, so forgive me if I sound a little less than enthusiastic. I'm just pooped. I keep getting glue on my fingers. You can see me trying to wipe it off. It did get kind of frustrating. Next time I will try to keep a wet paper towel next to me so that I can get that glue off a little easier. There I am, picking up more glue. The perils of art. Okay, so I am adhering this die cut with the glue stick, which is not great. However, I didn't want to pull out the gel medium or a paintbrush or something just to paste down this one stinking piece. So I went with the glue stick. It made a big mess, but it worked out, and I was very happy with that. I'm now taking off all the excess glue. Even though it will dry clear, I just didn't want it to be lumpy and weird. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, I believe, with the green Marks All, and I just did one little line there at the bottom, and I'll activate it with some water. I liked this little line. It's hard to see on the video, and I apologize, but I didn't love it. It wasn't really what I was going for, so I'm going to leave that green alone, and I'm just going to come back in with Walnut. What is this? Walnut Stain, another distress ink. And I've got a tiny brush, and I'm just going to do some outlining with Walnut Stain. And this works out wonderfully. It complements all of the other brown in my image, and it also gives a lot of definition to the focal point of the two girls. So I'm just going in with the tiniest dabs, very lightly, doing a little bit of outlining and a little bit of shading. And I actually end up coloring in most all of that one particular piece. I just wanted to be sure that the two figures look grounded. And another technique that I am doing here is adding just some concentrated blobs, for lack of a better word, letting the ink pool just a little bit so that it will dry darker, and when it is dry, it will have that very aged look. Since this is a distress ink and not a distress oxide ink, adding water to it later won't really do much, in the sense of you won't get that cool effect that you can get with the oxide inks. I only have the Walnut Stain in the regular ink, so I'm just using good old variations of how much ink I'm putting down. And here I am trying to add even more, and this is just me randomly going in, doing a little bit of edging there, and adding a lot of spots to that dictionary segment in the back, just to make it a little more interesting, because it was really boring. I haven't really decided if I like the end result or not with that particular part of the image, but overall I'm very happy with it. Now I'm looking for some kind of text to add to the picture. And since Labor Day has come and gone, the first day of fall has come and gone, I was thinking I would do a text that was a little bit spooky. So I have a box of little pieces of paper that are from an old Nancy Drew novel. And this one is something about a hex. It's working. Which I just thought was funny and just a touch cheeky and spooky. So I'm going to clean up the cutout and darken the edges with the Distress ink. Oh, sorry, that one's the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. You could have used either one and it would have been just fine, but that was the one that was right there. And now I'm just trying to figure out the best placement. This page had a lot of text on it already, but it was all, random stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that my placement of this was going to let it be, let it stand out a little bit. I even got a pair of little tweezers to kind of help hold down the piece of text, because my fingers were still sticky from the glue. I was just having a hard time with this. Anywho, I also darkened a little bit of the paper just behind it to make it stand out even more. And I'm going to add a little glue and put that down right there. And make sure it is adhered, which it is. And that's it, y'all. Nothing super fussy except some really pesty glue. I really appreciate y'all being here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. I would really appreciate it. And you'll get notified every time there's a new video. I hope y'all have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time.